It's Adam Swicky here at Surfboards.com. I wrote a blog post recently about our experience importing private label surfboards. So I wanted to turn that blog post into a video blog and maybe go into a little more depth on subsequent blogs. So we'll see how this is received. We are Surfboards.com, so it may surprise you to know that we just recently got Surfboards.com surfboards or private label surfboards in stock. I've been doing this about 20 years. We've sold lots of surfboards and stand-up paddleboards in that 20 years. And heretofore, it's really not been a great business. The margins on surfboards are not super good. They are hard to ship. They're expensive to ship. They get damaged quite a bit. So though we love selling surfboards, it's just a hard business. And that has since changed over the years because of the advent of primarily the soft top surfboard. The soft top surfboard is a cheaper surfboard. It is a more durable surfboard. It ships very easily. The damage is not there. And it's a good surfboard for a lot of surfers. Both beginner, intermediate, and advanced surfers can justify having a soft top surfboard in their quiver. So that has changed. So we decided to try to find our own Surfboards.com surfboard manufacturer. So the first thing we did, both Cameron and I got online, and you guessed it, we went right to Alibaba and said, where can we find a surfboard manufacturer? And we were shown all sorts of surfboard manufacturers, and they're trying to convince us to do business with them by showing us pictures of all the surfboards that they make. And it just so happens that a lot of the surfboard pictures that they're showing us are pictures of surfboards that we know of and that we like and we respect and that we know that they are good soft top surfboards. So the first one we reached out to through Alibaba, or maybe we found them on their own website, but we reached out to them because we saw that they made similar surfboards to the boards that we wanted to make. And it was really that simple. And then guess what? These folks are in the business of trying to help you buy their surfboards. So it was really a pretty easy process once you narrowed it down to a manufacturer that you wanted to work with. So once we decided on what manufacturer we wanted to work with, of course, then you got to go over all the specifics you want on your surfboards. We wanted several different sizes, several different colors. What colors did they have available? What size molds did they have available? What fin systems that you needed to choose. And all that was just a back and forth process. We can go into a great deal of depth on how we decided on our current colors, like the camo colors or the hibiscus colors, and the sizes that we chose. But suffice it to say, there was a lot of thought that goes into those decisions. But once we made those decisions, then it was just a matter of giving a 50% deposit, and the manufacturer just goes ahead and starts making them. I never once spoke to anybody at the manufacturer. They were in Ningbo, China. I never once spoke to anybody, although we emailed several times. They sent videos of the process to us, but I never visited. I never spoke to them. Frankly, I asked them if I could come and visit, because at the end of the day, you know, we're buying a 40-foot container of surfboards. That's a very expensive purchase. There's 450 surfboards, and not knowing anything about it, I wanted to go and see the manufacturer and look them in the eye and make sure I wasn't going to be ripped off, basically. And I wasn't ripped off, but I did never end up going there. In fact, the manufacturer said, please don't come. Maybe it had something to do with COVID. I'm not sure. We were kind of past the COVID time, but they said, if you get a second or third container, then come. We'd be glad to show you the facility. So maybe I'll take them up on that. So we decided on a bunch of specifics. Then the manufacturer makes the boards. It took maybe 2 months between what we decided to make and actually getting the boards into a container in Ningbo, China, something like that. So this whole process, let's say we reached out in January, maybe the surfboards were shipping to us in June. So maybe a 6-month process to actually go from idea to filling up a container. Then the question becomes, how do you get them from Ningbo, China, this 40-foot container of surfboards, to our warehouse in Denver? And I had heard on some podcasts that just call Flexport. And they're not paying us to say anything, but that's what I did. I called Flexport, and a guy named Austin, like the manufacturer of surfboards, they're in the business of shipping stuff from Ningbo, China to the US, and they knew everything about it. So basically they gave me a quote, and I said, okay. And I didn't do a thing. They made sure the container was picked up in Ningbo. It was on a container ship to Long Beach. It was put on a train from Long Beach to Denver. It was put on a truck from Denver to our warehouse. And I didn't have to do anything. So I'd recommend using Flexport for that. I know we'll use them in the future. So even the shipping and imports was easy. The import taxes, the customs, all that stuff is handled by Flexport. You just have to write a check. And then the final thing is, where do you put them? You have to be thinking about where you're going to put a 40-foot container of surfboards or a 40-foot container of anything from day one. You got to make sure you have enough room. That's a lot of room. You can do the volume. It's on Google. You know how much volume you're going to need and how much storage you're going to need. And we spent 3 or 4 months outfitting our current warehouse in order to fit 450 surfboards. I know of people that are surprised when they get a container of, let's say, 10 boxes. And all of a sudden they're like, oh my God, I didn't realize that's how many 10 boxes will fit in a container, and they didn't have room to hold them all. Well, don't be surprised. Like, think ahead. You got to have some place to put it. So I guess in summary, it wasn't that hard to import a 40-foot container of surfboards. It was expensive. It took a lot of time to figure out exactly what we needed, but finding the manufacturer was not an overwhelming process. Deciding on a design was not an overwhelming process. Getting it imported was super easy. And then warehousing, it took a lot of effort to get the warehouse in order. But that too, if you just look ahead a little bit, was totally easy. So if you're thinking about importing something, I encourage you to do it. The tools are out there to help you. There are manufacturers that are there to help you. There are importers that are there to help you. Use those resources, and I think you'll have success. So that's our experience. I think we'll go into more detail on each one of those if this video is well received. So like it or give it a thumbs up, and we'll go from there. Thank you.